Welcome in Crafting Creatures. Going to do another little Christmas card with everything on here. If I inspire you, please do a subscribe down the bottom and notification bell, all good. So I'm going to use this stamp, which I put that underneath, there we go, is Merry Christmas, just the sentiment. That's all I'm going to be using for this particular card, but it'll come in handy. And with that, foam pads. Sticky foam pads. My infamous ladybird stamp, although it's not mine, so it's not that infamous. Christmas tree made of stars, die cut, and going to make a frame out of the infinities. Then I have my card that I have already pre-scored and got ready, and the envelope, of course, we won't be using the envelope in here, but still. I have a piece of craft paper and a piece of watercolour card, and then this embossing folder, which is known to be flowers, but I kind of sort of thought, well, maybe they could work as like snowflakes too, maybe, sort of, well, in my imagination anyway. So these are bringing crafts to you. I quite like this embossing folder, and a piece of scrap paper, of course. Glue stick, clear glue, my pokey tool, poke. Ink pads. I'm going to be using this tinted embossing stamp pad. It doesn't need to be tinted, doesn't matter. And my first time using this VersaFine black ink, which I'm quite looking forward to seeing how it stamps out, and possibly some sequins, but I'm debating on that one. And lastly, embossing powders, both by Wow, and both are metallic. So this one is metallic glitter and silver, as you can see, and I'll just open it up. So there you go, metallic glittery silver. My magpie is very happy. And here we have metallic green. So I'll open this one up as well. Well, it doesn't look as shiny as the glittery one, but trust me, it's metallic, okay? Okay, so that's that. What's this? Back with more supplies? No, it's a giveaway! Hidden giveaway! So what we got? Okay, so we've got some stuff here, and over here we've got, if you're a die cutter, we've got a couple of die cuts here. One of them is this word of you with a shadowing to it as well. I know not everybody is a die cutter, so you'll have to let me know if you are or not in the comments below. I don't want to open this, I just want to move it down so you can see it a bit. So yeah, it's the word you with shadowing, so you can make a bold statement on a card. And here are some mini Gemini die cuts that anybody who doesn't have a Gemini thingy might find die cutting machine might struggle to get. I have a vial of hot pink glitter. Now when it does settle, it's not a full tube, it kind of comes down a bit, not quite that far, but you know, as it moves around it kind of disperses all over the place. But there's a vial of pink glitter, and in here we have some mini green and mini blue stars. Very nice, look, little stars. Let's see if I can get one out, hang on. I want to be gentle because I haven't opened these and I want to show you. There you go, little blue stars. Okay, anyway, sorry, you're going to be missing one. We have a Paper Mania pearlescent cards and envelopes, acid free, lignin free, 300 GSM and 20 in a pack, and there are the envelopes as well to go with them. So they're 3x3, 20, should be very nice for little notelets. And this, you're not getting the scrap paper, but you're getting the stamp set of sentiments, which is very, very useful indeed. Now, I got one of these and I've got to say I absolutely love it. So I thought, well, why not share the love? They can be a little bit on the expensive side, this particular one. But I want to give it away for people. So there you go. In here we have 100 sheets as shown. They're not quite A4, but they are blue carbon paper, which do come in very useful when you're doing a lot of different crafts. But this is paper craft, so hopefully you'll be able to use them. But there's 100 sheets in there. Like I said, you're not getting the scrap paper, but if you want to win these, in the comments below, say the word stars. So you see these little things? They're little mini stars. Okay, so there you go. And we have jump right into our card make. So I have got my cutout frame and I embossed it. So take it out of the embossing folder and let you see frame. Just about catch. I've made sure they are face up. So I'm going to put my craft paper so there is a very small white border around my card, and then stick the frame on. Or at least that's the intention. We'll see what happens. Anybody that's watched these with me before, one thing starts, something else completely comes out of it. So I'm only going to use standard paper glue for this because it is only sticking a little bit of paper to card. There's nothing special or heavy about it. So just using the standard glue stick on the craft paper, and then I'm going to put that, like I said, with a border showing on the card base. And no, it's not accurate, but I'm doing my best. All right, it's just with me eyeballs. Okay, so that's, no, it's not the camera wobbling, it's my little table, I'm sorry. So that's that down. Right, now the frame. I'm going to I'm going to stick it up. Actually, I'm going to get the foam pads out, but we'll come back to that. Okay, so my tree. Oh, I hate washi tape on card. I haven't found one yet that can go through a die cutter and actually not tear the card up with it. Grr. Okay, so there's my Christmas tree. Pokey pokey tool coming in handy. Get rid of that. Okay, so as you can see, there's a star. And I'm going to poke out some more stars. And maybe I might be able to use them, because up to this point, I hadn't thought of using them. But now I think I might, maybe. So what a few little stars to play with. Very nice, very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's poke the rubbish out now, because we don't want the rubbish. You don't need to see the rubbish, so don't worry about it not being on cam. Got another couple. Oh, there's a star up there. Missed it. And we're done. Okay, so that one's finished. So now I've got my Christmas tree. I've got my frame. I suppose I better get this frame onto the actual card then. Huh. Scissors. Ta-da! Back with scissors. Okay, so I'm going to use these foam pads to prop it up. This isn't what I was originally going to do, but I'm going to use them for the frame. And that's that. So I'm going to put the foam pads all the way onto the corners and one each onto the long sides, so there will be 6 bits holding it up in total. Of course you could completely hold it up, and I had thought about making the frame an actual frame with acetate behind it. But I didn't. So, oh well. So let's get a little bit more. Do the bottom corner and then the two sides. That's one, and then the last side. And anybody who is very conscious of the glue being on your scissors, as I've stated before, an easy way to get it off, oil, little bit of oil, like WD-40 as an example. No, this card maker is not affiliated with WD-40, sponsored by, etc, etc. It's just a thing. Rub a little bit of oil on and the glue comes right off, and it helps your scissors too. So I am going to stick it in this top corner and try and get it as straight as I can. That's about it. Okay, that will do. Let's push that down then. Da, 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 da. Lovely. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now what can we do with these stars? Oh, I know, wrong glue. Okay, I've got the clear glue and I'm going to just put a squib of this on the back of my hand, because then I can, I know that's a random thing. Just let me do my random things, okay? I'm going to put a teeny weeny little dot, because I've learned from experience that the nozzle on the glue tube is rubbish. So it's not just the nozzle, it's ridiculous trying to get the glue out. So I have my way, you have yours. So I'm just going to randomly stick these stars on, just to give a little bit of something on the background. And I hadn't intended on using these stars, but I'm going to use what I got. So just trying to be random with them, really, as best I can. Use this the last one maybe. I think we've got plenty. Oops, try that again. And put that down. Did I do one more? It just looks like a teeny weeny little dot, doesn't it? I need one down the bottom. And I think I'll leave it at that, I think. That works. Okay, let's get rid of that glue. You have your way, I have mine. I'm just here to show you a little thing that might inspire you. Okay, let's put that aside to dry for the moment. Now let's work on this tree. So I want to emboss the tree. So like I said, I'm using this tinted one, and it's not going to make any difference whatsoever for this particular tree, because the embossing powder that I'm using is quite dark, so the tinting makes no difference whatsoever. So this is just my It Will Do tint pad, and it looks like I didn't take the zebra off. Darn it, I'll have to do that. Right, embossing. Got my heat gun, scrap piece of paper underneath, because I want to catch as much embossing powder as I can. Okay, so I'm going to use this green first to make the body, as it were, of the tree. Now this could be done so many different ways, and to be fair, when I make more of these over this coming week, because this is going to be my main Christmas card, when I make more of these, I think I'm going to do a couple of different colours of the Christmas tree. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to do a green one. And I would ordinarily use my tweezers, but I tried to find them at the beginning of this video and I couldn't find them. They're not in my toolbox, and if they are, they're hiding from me. Such is life. Okay, so embossing powder going all over where I have put down the embossing ink. Why is it embossing ink? Because it stays wet longer and has got a little tack. Just a little bit, enough to help the powder stick. And this is good fun with only one hand. And it's always a good idea to have your heat gun at a really nice temperature before you start trying to heat up any embossing powder, because it only melts at a certain temperature anyway, and you'd just be wasting hot air. And also it goes a lot quicker if the heat gun is already hot, so warm it up first. And maybe, hopefully, you might be able to see this change on the camera if my camera picks it up. It might not at all, but I hope it does, so that you can see it changing, because it looks really cool as it changes. So it's all bubbling in a sense, it's got little bubbles on it. And I kind of wanted to leave it like bubbly to begin with. But I had second thoughts, and purely because, well, remember, stars, 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 stars. Remember that. So watch what I do by mistake. You'll see it in a minute when I've done this one. So I'm going over again, and this also helps even out the embossing that you've already done. So if you do find it's a little bit lumpy bumpy, if you go over it again, it will even out a little bit more. And if you go over it again, it'll even out even more. And if you do it several times, you end up with a beautiful smooth finish. Now, for a tree, I'm not particularly in mind for a smooth tree. It'll just be what it'll be. Shiny. So just making sure everything is covered. Nice and gentle, 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 nice and gentle. Looks like moss. Got lumps of moss on my paper. Alright, let's get this bit heated up. All blown straight onto my table. That was really good. Now you can see some of it change at least. That's good. I love watching it change. I really do. Now watch for my mistake. Thumb's gone straight in. Dolt. Yep, still tacky, Lisa. You might want to go over it again because, you know, you've just ruined it. Okay, we'll do it again. Let's get some of this embossing powder up first. No need throwing it in the bin when it can be used again. Okay, so let's try this again. For the final time then, let's put some more green on the tree. Where I've just put my fingerprints, because giant fingerprints don't usually go on trees. I mean, you could call them fingerprints in a sense if you look at them really carefully, but they're not really a thing. So let's cover with green. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Okay. Well, let's see what it looks like when it's heated. Should have sped all this a little bit up for you, really. I'm sorry. It's called I'm lazy. I'm sorry. Okay, finish off that green. Okay, that's green finito. And on the top, what have we got? Da-da-da! Silvery glitter. And yes, that's going on the scrap paper, not on the floor. Okay, let's get that final star inked up. So I'm just pressing it on the edge because I need to get it specific. I don't want to get it on any of the other stars. And turn the paper over and let's get the silver on. So sparkly. Ah, satisfied magpie. And heat it up. Oh, you see that sparkle? Ain't it lovely? Ain't it, ain't it? If I knew how to edit properly, I would have zoomed in on that bit and it would have been great. Now you see I'm not putting more ink on while the embossing powder is still wet and it doesn't last very long. I'm very quickly dipping it back into the powder to give it another coat. So just layering up the embossing powder. Oh, Look, I got a sparkly tree. Ow, 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 ow. Don't do that. Don't try that at home. Ow. I got a little bit of melting embossing powder on my finger. Okay, let's stick all that away. Lovely. Let's get the card back. Now, how are we going to put the tree on? I think that doesn't look too bad because that kind of looks to me like the tree is on the inside and the stars are on the outside of a window. So that works for me. Now, because the frame is propped up, I'm going to be using a couple of bits of foam pad to put on the back of the tree on the outside of the frame so it doesn't contort, so it doesn't bend, and it sits along with the frame. So I've just got to work out where the foam pads need to be. Okay. Let's have another look. So I need to grab that one, I guess. Better put a little bit up there. Okay, that one. That's too big. Let's cut that down a little bit. I've got a feeling that's going to show, but we'll have a look and see. My disappeared. Yeah, that shows too much. Let's trim that a little bit and put it back on. Take all the backing off. Okay. And down she goes. Here we go. That's not too bad. I quite like that. Okay, well, let's grab the stamping platform, which I completely forgot to show earlier, and we will get the sentiment stamped on. So I'm going to be using this Merry Christmas sentiment just up here. Let's get the card put down. And we're putting it just there. So let's get it out and turn it the right way around and just there. I hope that looks straight. Let's use the grid. Sorry for the ring light. Oh, that's pretty good. Jolly good. Okay, it lined up pretty well with the grid, so I'm happy with that. It means it's actually straight. So let's use my new ink. Da, 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 da. Now this should come out pretty crisp, and that's why I bought it. I've had quite a few pigment inks that aren't quite crisp. They're more like splodgy when I stick a stamp down. So I've got high hopes for this. High hopes. Sorry again for the reflection. I'm sorry. Not bad. Let's go one more time. That's pretty good. I like that. Yep, that's crisp, and you can actually read it. Oh, I'm happy with that. Don't forget, if you're using stamps, make sure you clean them as soon as you can to try and make sure that your stamps don't stain. Now, sequins. Well, these are what I got out, but I don't actually think I will use them for mine. But what I will do is I'll just put a couple on to show you what I had originally thought of. Just putting a couple on like little baubles, really. Come back out, thank you. Like that. So just a couple here and there just to add a little bit of baublage. But I'm not going to do that. It's just a demonstration. I'm going to actually leave my tree baubleless. So I will put my signature ladybird on the back. Ta-da! And that is my Christmas card. Doesn't have to be a Christmas card. You can do a very similar design for absolutely anything. But if I have inspired, please give a thumbs up. If I've made you smile, please give a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe.